Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua, Bashem, Rukdash. I want to give up honesty, apostles, and elders of GMS. Shalom that I can teaching this truth and sincerity. Shalom to the man, woman, children, listening and learning. Okay, now, basically want to go over, our temptations and our, what is it? Flesh, like, basically being made pure in this thing. And there's going to be occasions where we have to show that we were made pure, that we're real gold and not fool's gold, right? So basically, one of my first examples would be when, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego wasn't serving the God, basically didn't bow down and worship Nebuchadnezzar's statue, right? So this is Daniel 3:10. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. But whosoever falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Okay, now that fire could could be symbolic to our hour of temptation, right? Or even Babylon, how we're tried here. Now, mentioning that, I don't get Ecclesiasticus 2:5. For gold is tried in a fire, an acceptable man, which is the gold, in the furnace of adversity. Exactly what we go through here in Babylon, right? And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was a clear example of that. Okay? Now it says, there are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and his fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Right? The furnace of adversity that could be symbolic to us. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? So he being proud. Esau. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. So they was like, they didn't care. They weren't finna watch what they say. They had faith. They was like, we know the Lord going to deliver us. If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. He will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Right? Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage visage. I think that, let's see, let's go into that word. Basically his countenance changed. His face. Basically he was mad. You know, it says Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was not to be heated. So he turned that thing up to the max. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them in the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, their hats, their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flames slew those men that took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So his mighty men just got killed off by the fire because it was so hot. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king rose up astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound in the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto him, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High Yahweh, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. The princes, governors, captains, and the king's counselors being gathered together, saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was a hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. So it was as if they were like transparent, like, you know, that power that, you know, for those who watch Marvel, Vision, he basically, you know, he can go through he can walk through walls and stuff like that. You know, stuff can go through him and stuff like that, like, but he can do it on command. It could have been something like that, or it could have been, you know, the angel working the elements, and, you know, the fire had no power against them. You know. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies, that they may not serve nor worship any god except their own. Right, so he got confounded because we have, you know, faith in our power, but I got carried away. That's a good story. But, you know, they had to be direct, you know, and everything that we doing in this truth eventually has to pay off. If you're not being elevated within the spirit, you know, because to be honest, you're not always going to be elevated within the spirit. You're going to have those times where you feel down in the spirit because of affliction, you know. But, you know, we still have to learn in this thing. You know, it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thine times. All right, so it's going to keep us in a stable mindset, and ultimately, that's that faith. It's going to keep us stable within those times. All right. The angel of the Lord, what did he say? What did it say? It said, have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him. right? So if we get Psalms 34:7, it says, the poor man crieth, no, Salakia 34:6. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. Now 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. O taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. O fear the Lord, ye his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him. Right? And they feared the Lord. They didn't fear what Nebuchadnezzar could do to him. They had faith that the Lord would deliver him. Right? And either way, they wasn't gonna serve his power regardless. They didn't say if your power will if my power don't deliver me, then we'll serve your power. They didn't say that. The eyes of the Lord. Okay, so this is Psalms 34:15. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. Right, so the Lord is always constantly watching his men. So even when you don't call upon the Lord is still there, watching. The face of the Lord is against them that do evil, to cut them off of the remembrance of them from the earth. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. Right. So the Lord always have an eye on us. But the point of this lesson, is to constantly learn. That way we may have that stability, that way we may have that solid foundation to stand upon. Right? And it's not easy, The Lord even gave us examples, of how it's not easy. He told us. It's Matthew 7:13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction. Right? So it's easy to go down a path that leads to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Right? And the Lord have blessed us to find the straight gate. Right? And narrow is the way which leadeth unto life. Right? And if you really think about it, narrow is the way, straight is the gate. Basically, you are trying your best to stay on this path, kind of like what we're doing now, but also like by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments to the fullest, not eating any crabs or pork or, not really indulging to the lust of the world, like getting a nice house or a really nice car or a nice job, all that. Although that would be nice, for those brothers and sisters out there, but, the Lord don't bless the rich in the world. He bless the poor, right? It talks about, we just read a scripture like that. Let's see. It said, the poor man crieth, and the Lord heareth him. Just like Lazarus, the story of Lazarus and the rich man. The Lord heard the Lazarus, which was a poor man. He ain't hear the rich man. The Lord hearkens unto the meek and humble, the lowly. Because ultimately they have the upper hand. we just don't realize it, right? But the point is that we're all gonna be tried as gold is tried in the fire, and ultimately we're hardening ourselves, because eventually the Lord is going to take out our impurities, but we have to stay solid for now, right? But this is Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, which is this truth, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world and try them that dwell upon the earth. Right? So the mark of the beast, that will be an example of the hour of temptation, or even death right before your eyes. That will be an hour of temptation. Basically anything that will lead you to follow the truth. And basically that's what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego went through. They saw, they had death right before their eyes. But what did the Lord say? He said, what did he say? He said, shall no weapon prosper. Let's see if I can get it. Right here, Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. So this is a heritage. This is something that we can keep forever, right? And that fire was used as a weapon, or fear can be used as a weapon, but none of this is going to prevail because we got Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? But at the end of the day, it's really a lesson on keeping the faith, constantly praying that the Lord don't take your Holy Spirit away from you, that he keep you in his truth and allow you to receive salvation. And hopefully you can become one of those first fruits, Lord willing, to be part of the governing body, judging the universe in righteousness under Yahweh, of course, but that's all for this lesson. I'm going to say shalom to the hopefully elect and on to the next.